Meanwhile, Joe Biden sounding even sillier than her senile spouse. Yesterday, she told reporters, "There's nothing wrong with the president's brain. He's great." Hello?
There have been some recent polls that show that quite a few Americans have some questions about the president's current mental fitness. As somebody who spends, I can see you shaking your head.
Yes.
So what's your response to that?
I think that's ridiculous.
He introduced his own granddaughter as his dead son. Something might be going on here. Now, I understand that Jill is a doctor, but can the American people really take her word for it at this point, Abby?
Well, I don't think so, because the majority of Americans are saying from the polls that they don't believe Joe Biden is mentally fit to run this country. And there's a lot of reasons that have led up to it. You mentioned one of them. He also called Super Tuesday, Super Thursday. Numerous times on the campaign trail, he forgot where he was. He said the wrong state.
Thank you, Cleveland.
Exactly. And look, I think he has the opportunity to kind of prove people wrong by taking a cognitive test. He would have to pass the cognitive test, but that's what former President Trump did. And look, I kind of see it as, let's say you're in grade school and everyone makes fun of you for not being in shape. So what do? You hit the gym, you join the football team, and you win a state championship, and you prove that to them that you are capable of doing your job. And I think maybe some Americans have yet to see that from Joe Biden.
Yeah, and it's not just Republicans, Richard. It's also independents who are losing faith in the president's cognitive abilities. But to Abby's point, I listened to a David Goggins podcast recently, and he said, you know what? If someone calls you fat, it hurts your feelings, but you might be fat. And it's true with the president. Like, it might hurt his feelings. It might hurt his wife's feelings that people say that he's slow and he's off a bit. And, you know, maybe he needs to go back and prove them wrong by taking some sort of an examination that might prove just that. Although I think we're screwed.
Well, it's worth pointing out, Kenny, that it's worth pointing out that he did go for his annual physical at Walter Reed. He came back with a clean bill of health from the great doctors at Walter Reed.
Physical,
so I think that speaks to
cognitive.
both his
good point, Abby. Yep.
Well, no. This is the same exact citing that Donald Trump used when he said he was mentally fit, that he went to Walter Reed and they did a cognitive exam and he passed it. So it's the same test.
Everyone who wants to be president should have a cognitive test. I have designed the cognitive test.
Yeah, but Trump had the same test from Walter Reed, and so did Joe Biden, and they both passed with full colors, with flying colors.
Do you want to hear the cognitive test? Richard, do you want to hear? Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear my test?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. So, and I've said this before on air, and I stand by it. You have to download the Pizza Hut app. Whoever downloads the app and actually orders a pizza and has it delivered, that person can be president. Donald Trump wouldn't be able to do it. Joe Biden sure as hell couldn't do it. So, Spike, am I right here?
This episode brought to you by Pizza Hut. No, listen, I think that I think that we've been watching Joe Biden slowly sundown over the past 2 to 4 years.
Great term.
You know, he's been kind of off for quite a while, but we've just been watching it happen slowly over time to the point where it's not even a joke at this point. It's majority of Americans are acknowledging that something's wrong there. I don't dispute that he was able to take a basic cognitive function test, and I don't think that he's at a point where a judge would take away his rights and put him in a nursing home, but clearly something's wrong. I mean, he routinely will just completely forget what he's talking about and look down and look up kind of confused. He complains about the fact that he's being, carted around and told what to do. He literally wanders off sometimes. Like, this is happening. And this is one of those instances where you have government and a lot of corporate media telling you not to believe your lying eyes, but it's happening. And honestly, it's sad to watch. I'd feel worse for him if we weren't watching the consequences of his 40 years of governance in the Senate and the White House, resulting in all the bad things that are happening right now. But no, I think that the idea that there isn't something cognitively wrong there, I think that requires just not watching himself, actually watching what he's doing.
Anyone who watches some of his speeches, anyone who sees him try to interact contemporaneously, they know something's wrong. Anyone who has had an aging parent or grandparent and witness this kind of decline, you know what's happening. You see it happen in slow motion, and it's tragic. But for all of those beloved family members that we have and that we have ached for, They don't have their bony damn finger on the nuclear football. That's the difference here, Richard.
Well, look, I mean, Kennedy, I disagree with you vehemently. I think not only did he pass the muster of the Americans when he was elected.
What part could you possibly disagree with there?
Wait, hold on.
There was nothing I said that was wrong.
But if you look at the president's speech pattern, he admittedly says that he does have a stutter, and that's what shows up when he's giving a speech and he's trying to pronounce words. That's what happens when you have a stutter.
Yeah.
So let's be very cognizant before we start becoming psychologists and psychiatrists on this panel.
Yeah, all right, thanks. I know people who have stuttered, and they've never confused Syria with Libya, oddly enough. And they're not the president. That's not what a stutter is, and it's offensive to people who actually have a stutter. I'll give you 5 seconds, Abby, because you're special and wonderful. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. I did look it up, and it says Sanjay Gupta told CNN that he did not, that was not part of, the cognitive test was not part of the physical that he got. So just wanted to clear that up.
How
I just want to make sure we're factually correct, that's why. But if you find something else, just I would love to know, but this wasn't me trying to. I just want to make sure it's factual.
It's factual. It's actual. And
I mean, I'm just saying, if he took the same physical that Donald Trump took, then he had a cognitive test, because that's what Donald Trump claimed.
Yeah.
Is it not true?
It's not true. I'll spoil the mystery for you, Richard. It's not true. It should be true. It should be true for all of them. Should even be true for the cackling pantsuit Kamala Harris. The vice president also may not be well, but I'm not a doctor. I might be. All right, party panel, Abby, Richard, Spike. Spike, we'll see you when you come back to Earth. Great job.
Thank you.